In Revelation 12:15-17, we have a serpent. And he's casting out of his mouth. What comes out of your mouth? Words. And so what is he casting out of his mouth? Water like a flood after the woman. In other words, it's a flood of curses. It's a flood of words. It's not a literal flood. The serpent is coming after the woman with a flood of words. And it says that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood, and the earth helped the woman. The earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And the dragon was angry with who? Okay. And went to make war with the remnant of her seed who keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Yeshua HaMashiach. Now, here's something I've mentioned before, and maybe this time it will take root, or maybe this time it'll begin to sprout. You have a woman, and you have her children. Does everyone see that in Revelation? And the woman is the bride. And so what does that make the children? Not the bride. The woman is taken, and then the devil attacks her children. So we know there's a woman, and we know there's children. This goes back to what I want to say, the 10 virgins. There were 5 wise, and there were 5 foolish, right? None of them are the bride. They, the 5 wise, get to go to the wedding. The 5 foolish do not get to go to the wedding. Okay? Now, this is why it's important that we understand this concept. I have a verse. I'm about to give you this, not on your notes. That is a very mind-blowing verse. It's in the Gospels. It's in the Gospel of Luke. It's chapter 12, and it's verse 34 through 39. Now, I'm just going to read it. You can just enjoy listening to it. You know about the foolish virgins and the lamps that went out, right? Well, this is the man version of that. Okay? Listen to this. It says, "For where your treasure is, that's where your heart will be also. Let your loins be girded about and your lights burning." Keep your lamps burning. "And you yourselves like men that wait for their Lord when he will return from the wedding. That when he comes and knocks, they may open to him immediately. Blessed are those servants whom the Lord, when he comes, will find them watching. Verily, I say to you, he's going to gird himself, make them sit down to food and meat, and will come forth and serve them. And if he come in the second watch or the third watch and find them so, blessed are those servants. And know this, if the good man of the house had known what hour the thief would come, he would have watched and not have suffered his house to be broken through." I believe there are people, believers, that aren't going to be part of the bride. They're not going to be part of the wedding. They're going to get to go through the tribulation. And then what's going to happen when the Lord returns from the wedding, if they're watching this time, they were asleep when he came. All of you have listened to my Song of Songs teaching. He's knocking at the door, and there's people asleep. The bride's asleep. And finally, at the end, she knows to be awake, alert, and watching. So I believe the entire body of Messiah does not become the bride. Just like with Adam and Eve, a rib became the bride. Not the whole body became the bride. Now, I believe that the whole body of Messiah will be saved. But only a remnant will be the bride, the ones that are closest to his heart, that does what he says from the heart. And so we have to realize there's going to be believers who don't get to go to the wedding, but after the wedding, he's going to come back again, okay? And he's going to say, "Okay, are you watching now?" So this is why we don't want to be watching the first time, right? Okay.